Welcome everyone to the third episode of Tech and Tots. It's been a long time, Sanika.
Yeah, it feels like ages since we've caught up, right? I think we've been traveling 180 degrees out of sync with each other over the summer. Super excited to talk to you today.
Yes, we definitely need to exchange travel stories. But for now, let's get to our topic for today. Today, we will talk about how does parents' use of phones impact kids.
Okay, I'm going to start with the most interesting statistic I read about this, okay? So, the Pew Research Survey from 2020 says that more than two-thirds of parents say that they are distracted by phones. And no wonder, because apparently the average user checks their phones 80 times a day.
Wait. Let's just digest these numbers for a little bit, right? So, number one, you're saying that 2 out of every 3 parent I see in the playground, one of them probably being me, is distracted by their phone while parenting. And secondly, you're saying that an average user checks their phone 7 times every waking hour?
Yeah, on an average. So I feel like we are living in a world where technology is just completely changing the way we interact with others around us. And now this has a term, by the way, it's called technoference, which, as you can imagine, is interference in relationships caused due to technology. I've been coming across this word more and more in the context of parent-child relationships because technoference clearly impacts the dynamic between parents and children, right?
I can understand. And we all know the importance of healthy parent-child relationship. And the way the phones impact, I think, I read some research that kids use negative words to describe their feelings when parents were on their devices. So, kids were asked what words come to your mind when your mom and dad are on phones, and they would say things like lonely, sad, dissatisfied. Basically, they feel a sense of competition with these devices. And you can understand why. I think as parents, our response also changes when we are on our devices. I think I've been guilty of maybe responding in a frustrated manner when my child has distracted me from my phone, or maybe I'm not responding.
Yeah, absolutely. I think parents not responding is happening more commonly than we think. So stats say that parents are 2 to 4 times less responsive to their kids when they are on their phones. And sometimes even worse, children might get this still face response out of their parents.
Wait, what still face?
So still face is like, imagine a blank, expressionless face where you don't respond with anything, not even an expression, if your kid asks you something. And I know I have been guilty of this sometimes when I'm on my phone. And so there is well-established research based on an experiment about still face that this has a strong negative impact on kids. And here's how they did it, right? They asked the mom to play with the kid in the first phase. Then they asked her to disengage for a few minutes and give this kind of a still face response to the kid. And then in the third phase, they asked her to go back and play with the kid now. What they saw was that the child was so distressed from that in-between blank response that they just couldn't go back to the same level of engagement and play later.
Wow, that's really interesting. And I think what basically ends up happening, I also read about this, is that not only are the parents less responsive now, but this creates a negative cycle. And now children are also less responsive when technology is in use. And with this negative cycle, you can only wonder what kind of attachment are you building with your caregiver with that, lack of responsiveness on both parties.
Yeah, absolutely. I think technoference can definitely have an impact on the child's emotional development. And I think to add to that, there can be tangible impacts of using devices too, right? I can imagine safety of a kid can be impacted if you're really distracted.
Yeah, imagine being on phone in a less secure place like a playground. Even if safety is not at risk, you might be less aware of what your kid needs because you're so distracted, right?
Yeah, that's true. But then, no, are we saying that we expect parents to be attuned and aware of what their kids need and what they're doing 24/7?
I mean, that's certainly a discussion between my husband and I. And, one of us uses the argument of independent play to justify being on phones. I won't name names right now.
Yeah, but for that, let's first define independent play, right? It's not the same as unsupervised play. Independent play in kids refers to their ability to engage in activities without needing constant guidance or interaction with adults. And you can't encourage independent play by ignoring your kids or telling them to go play because you have other stuff to do. It is very unlikely that your kids will play independently if they feel a sense of competition with your phone and devices. So first, you need to be there for them and provide them the reassurance that you are available when needed.
Basically, I hear you saying don't use independent play as a crutch. I think one of the symptoms I look at is how is your kid reacting and are they becoming too needy for attention. So, for example, like when I'm on my phone or working, I have seen that Meera, my 2-year-old, she becomes very needy. She wants to be held a lot more. She becomes more dependent versus when I'm just around. And even if I'm just lightly engaged, she is happily coexisting.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So switching gears here a little bit, I want to talk a little about what's so special about screens. If you think about it, parents have been distracted even when phones and screens didn't exist. Maybe doing chores, talking to friends, reading a book, tending to siblings, watching TV. So let's clarify a little bit about the ways in which phones are different.
And like you rightly pointed out, there is a spectrum of distractions. So on the one end is doing things like a chore or tending to a sibling, and on the other end are like TVs and phones. And the reason I'm saying they are on different ends is because the question we need to ask ourselves is, are we able to actively disengage from the activity? And a chore is very different here than from a phone. In fact, most apps are designed to keep you engaged. In fact, they are designed to pull you in. They will call out to you and say, pick me, versus your crying baby with that notification beep.
Yeah, so true. I mean, my phone beeps, what we said, 7 times every hour. And I'm totally guilty of picking it up 6 out of those 7 times, even if I'm with my kids. And that's just one point of difference. I also think about what behavior I am modeling for my kids when I'm on my phone. So I think my kid does need to see me reading or engage with other people, doing chores. And it's fine if in some of these scenarios I don't respond immediately. But with phones, I'm not even able to explain why I'm on it so much, right? To my kids, it just seems like, why is mom on this magical black box device all the time?
Correct. And because they don't understand what you're doing, being on your phone and ignoring others might become normal behavior for them.
Yeah.
So we've established that technoference does have profound impact on emotional health and parent-child relationship. We as parents respond differently when on phone. Parents are harder to disengage from, or phones are harder to disengage from, or explain why to the kids versus other distractions. We know all this, yet we all do it. And this 10-minute podcast won't make us break a habit we've formed over the last 10 years. So the question is, what can we do about it?
Yeah, I don't think it is realistic to say, never use screens or never use your phones when you're with your kid. But I think there are some tactics we can try. And one of the things that I have been trying out more recently is to try to demystify this black box by always narrating to my kid what I'm doing on my phone if I pick it up when I'm around them. So for example, say I'm texting with my husband, I'll say, hey kids, I'm texting with dad about figuring out dinner. And then at that point, if I'm tempted to then say switch to Instagram out of habit, having to say that out loud just makes me stop. What about you? What are some things that work for you?
I think that's a really good one. I'm going to try narration. The tactic I use is I put active tech-free times. So I use, out of office on my calendar. That's my tech-free time, just focused on my child. I put the phone away. I let it beep the 7 times that waking hour, and it's okay.
Yeah. So in these tactics, I think we talked a little bit about how to use phones. So for example, narrate. And then we also talked about when to use phones. So have tech-free times. But then I think the third thing that's important is thinking about how much to use phones in the first place. And for that, I feel that using, say, digital well-being to monitor my overall phone usage can be a really good tool.
That's a great one. I use that on me and on my husband as well. So to our listeners, why don't you tell us through comments what are some of the things you have been guilty of doing and what tactics have you been using?
This was so much fun, Urvashi, and thanks guys. Keep listening.